turbos come on instantly, even with a small injector VP44 truck. Welcome back to the channel. This is gonna be a good one. I'm excited for this one. So getting ready, I'm gonna start this video off. I'm gonna remove the turbo that I've been running for the past year. GT Performance Billet S363 68 83 T4. That's coming off. It's a fantastic turbo. Honestly, it would be a kick-ass towing turbo. It's been a great race turbo, with the small exception that in 90-degree weather at these racetracks throughout the year, this thing would not spool unless I sprayed a little nitrous, and I got to get away from that, or I want to get away from that. Me and Greg at GT talked quite a bit about possible options, injectors, other turbos, sticking with nitrous, ditching nitrous, and I really wanted to stay single turbo for the simplistic factor. It's a cheaper option. I tried to, with this channel, with this truck, to be able to show guys that you don't need to spend boatloads of money to go, decently fast. 770 isn't slow, and have fun doing it and not break the bank. But I really want to try to be competitive. I really want to get the truck off nitrous, so we're going compounds. First of all, shout out to TJ Frey, One Bad VP44 Performance. He makes side-by-side and over-under compound turbo kits for second gens. And he is helping me out big time on this project. I connected with him. Him and Greg at GT Turbos are good friends and work together often. So he is making me a side-by-side compound turbo kit. We are going to utilize this same turbo. We're going to change the exhaust housing on it, switching to a T3 manifold instead of a T4. And pretty sure, haven't nailed anything down, but I'm pretty sure Greg's going to build me a one of his S475s to go as the atmosphere. It's not going to be a crazy, high horsepower compound kit, but it should get the job done. It should make it to where I can spool on the converter, on the foot brake, at the line without spraying nitrous. And also, it should be able to give me a little bit extra power, coupled with the new injectors that we got, to be able to not have to use nitrous at all to run that 770 number. We're really close. I really only need 50 more horsepower on fuel. It come down to I have to detune this thing a little bit. Not sure, but I'm gonna get busy taking this turbo off, because I got to get it to Greg so he can modify it, and he's gonna mock up my kit before I take it back here and put it back on the truck. Before I get into what you see behind me, to thank a few people real quick for helping make this happen, and then we're going to get into this. First and foremost, Greg Turner, GT Turbos. We got some badass turbos back here. We're going to go over what they are. We're going to go over what he did with these compared to my old single turbo setup. But huge shout out to him. Link will be in the description for gtturbos.com. This guy builds awesome turbos. This guy supports the racing industry. This guy cares a lot about what he does. So check that out. And then also TJ Frey. He is, I would say, mostly known for being a tuner for these things right here. He builds custom tunes for Quadzilla Adrenalines and stuff like that. But he also builds compound turbo kits, specifically for second gens. I think he also does first gens as well right now, with more kits to come. But he builds super awesome kits. He helped me out with this kit. We're going to go over that too. Shout out to him. Check his, I think he's going to be changing his name to Reaper Diesel and Fab. So that's really cool. Looking forward to seeing more from him. He's got a pretty badass 670 VP44 truck. So a lot of this awesome stuff wouldn't happen without the help from these people. So super thankful. Let's get into what's on the table back here. So what we have is a side-by-side compound turbo kit with an S300 and an S400. First over here, Steed Speed T3 manifold. We will be installing this inverted, so facing upwards. Always use fleece hardware, so these are fleece manifold studs, nuts, and washers. Studs are already on the truck. This is a spacer. It's going to go here. That helps space the S300 away from the manifold so that it fits. Turbo guard. This is going to be for this guy. Our hot pipe. This is the exhaust hot pipe that goes from the backside of the S300 and then connects to the T6 foot of the S400. This is the interstage pipe. This connects from here to here. And this is going to be the outlet on the S300, which then connects to the intercooler pipe, which is the only thing you don't see here is the actual intercooler pipe. That'll be here soon. We don't really need it for today anyways. Bracket to support the weight of the S400. All right, for turbos, here's what we got. This is an S300. It's a T3 foot waist-gated exhaust housing. It's an S363 with Greg Turner's billet compressor wheel. So it's a 63, and then I believe we got a 68 millimeter turbine wheel. And I don't know actually the ins and outs of the exhaust housing, other than it's a gated T3 exhaust housing with an HX40 cut flange on it. This is the same turbo that I actually had on the truck all last season as a single, except it did not have a gated T3. It had a non-gated 0.83 AR T4 exhaust housing. So that thing should rip. This is the S400. So this is an S476 that Greg spent a lot of time modifying this compressor housing to get it to work. He basically used something that he had laying around. You can see he's got he CNCs his logo into all the compressor housings. So this is an S476, like I said, billet wheel, of course. It's a 96 turbine, which is pretty common for these, and a 132 exhaust housing, also pretty common, T6. If we wanted to go after pure horsepower, we would probably have a different turbine or a different, maybe a different exhaust housing setup. But the goal with this is to not have to use nitrous to spool at the line. VB44s don't have a whole lot of RPM, even with the small exhaust housing, and using this turbo as a single, we still had trouble spooling. So we're hoping with this, we're going to spool at the line very easily. The turbos aren't gonna have to work as hard to produce the same amount of horsepower or more horsepower. And this is gonna also, should pull really hard on the big end, whereas the truck before was kind of a turd on the big end. It was really violent and strong out of the hole, but out the back, it didn't have a whole lot left to it. So, of course, we're coupling this with some new injectors. That'll be in another video, but for now, I'm gonna get working on, got some stuff to clean up. I got a little bit of cleaning to do. Since we have two turbos, we have two drains, so I have a plug to pull out of the block for the other drain. And then we'll start putting the exhaust manifold on and going from there. All right, so this is how far I've gotten so far. Got the Steed Speed mounted, S300 mounted. Still need to tighten up some bolts. Still need to run the drain. Still need to run the feed. Clearance, I don't know. We're about to find out. So far, so good. Looking pretty sick. I love the high mount dealio here. But, yep, pretty awesome. All right, guys, I finished off last night getting the turbos 90% mounted up. And I am jacked up. It looks sick. I screwed up the time lapse though, so you probably noticed that the atmosphere turbo appeared in the picture pretty quickly. It's because I screwed the time lapse up. So I'm back again after another day. It's the middle of the week here. I'm back again. Gonna tidy some stuff up. Check this out. Real big fan of polished housings. Still have to get these coated. Pretty sure we're gonna chrome these. If that doesn't work out, I'll probably paint them red or black or something, but I think we're gonna chrome this and the intercore pipe. The intercore pipe, I know you don't see that here. It's, I haven't gotten it yet. TJ had to send that out separate, so I should have that in just a couple days. But yeah, so now I'm going to install the oil feed lines, make sure that the drain lines are good and how I like them, how they're supposed to be. Then it's done. And then what I'm probably going to do in the background, not in this video, is get the transmission installed. Right now, it is still over here on the ground, wrapped up. Get that installed so that we can start this thing, because the last piece of the puzzle on this turbo setup is going to be a new hood stack. So we have our existing hole here, and let's see if you can see here. I got a new clamp here. To be able to weld up a new hood stack. If you look at the existing hole, let me pull the hood down, in relation to the back of the exhaust housing, it is off-center just a tiny bit. But we're thinking, or I'm thinking, after looking at this, eyeballing it, this goes right there like that. It'll weld up just like that, 4-inch pipe. I don't know, I feel like this, we could probably have this just kick to the side, just a little bit, like just that much. And then have, I don't know, 3 or 4-inch piece of 4-inch just straight pipe welded to it. And it'll come up into that, you know, come up into there when the hood shuts, and it might work out perfectly. So really didn't want to drill a second hole. So I think we're gonna be good. All right, as you can see, I'm back in a familiar spot, back in my driveway. Several days, maybe weeks have passed. This project turned into just kind of a slow project, and I failed in a few areas on filming. But let me show you where we're at right now, and then we're gonna go drive this thing, end this video off with a little drive. Hopefully don't see too many of these guys out on the drive, but it always seems to go that way. So basically what I didn't film was first startup for one. For two, got the new hood stack fabbed up and wrapped. Thanks to my friend Nick for doing some welding for me. Also this intercore pipe that I got. Again, this is a TJ Frey One Bad VP44 compound kit, and it's a great kit. Highly recommend getting a kit from him. In my particular case, with the turbos that Greg built me, the intercooler pipe that he sends, which is all mandrel bent, it's super nice, didn't work. So we had to cut it and do some welding. And that pipe's going to get coated. This pipe's going to get coated. I'm not sure yet. I think we're going to chrome them. But either way, we're ready to go. Truck runs good. I've put several, probably 15, 20 miles on it since it was parked all winter long. It does still have the 90 horsepower injectors in it. So it is, you know, it's over turboed for sure, but it actually still runs pretty good. I wouldn't say it has more power than it did before, but it just drives totally different. You know, going from an S300 single to compounds like this, it drives totally different. So I'm gonna go see if I can get some footage, some driving footage now. Okay, it's not gonna really be super easy to get good video of this thing, but I'm gonna try to get it down just to a slow roll here and just kind of run through the gears at half throttle. Don't have full drive yet right now either. I mean, that was a quick 10 mile an hour to 80 mile an hour at half throttle. I saw 40 pounds of boost the whole time. It pulls so much different than a single turbo does. This is my first time experiencing compounds, really. It is night and day difference. I'm almost wondering if we even need to swap injectors. We're going to, and then we're going to go testing. But at this point, I'm not even sure. I mean, this thing, I'm trying to remember, you know, it's hard to remember how a truck feels. You know, you really need to have actual data at a drag strip or something like that. But it just feels like it pulls way harder. It spools way easier. I don't have to use nitrous to spool. Yeah, I mean, piece of cake. Turbos come on instantly, even with a small injector VP44 truck. So that wraps up the turbo video. Can't wait to go test these out. I'm actually getting ready to today. As I'm filming this outro, I'm getting ready to tear this thing apart and slash some new injectors in it. Then today, let's see, it's Saturday today. Wednesday, there is the first test and tune at Lucas Oil Raceway Park. So I don't love going to those because the place is always packed and it's poorly ran. And you only usually get 1 to 2, maybe 3 passes if you're lucky. But need to see what this thing does with all these this whole new setup. Next video is going to be an injector video. I'm thinking I'll probably be filming the test video as well. So thanks for watching.